it's a new year. That means it's time for every gaming channel on the literal planet Earth to make a top 10 best games of the year.
But for that, you've got to beat Mike Tyson.
Have you ever wanted a boxing game where you fight a Ted Cruz that uses astral signs to beat the snot out of you? Then, by golly gee willikers, do you have specific tastes? But Election Year Knockout is still a great game. I had a ton of fun with it, even if it was just a Punch-Out clone. However, it does have a lot of unique things. Different ways you have to hit the opponents, and different ways they have to hit you is always nice. Also, one of the fighters uses a literal cannon. He fires it onto your head. How is the main character still even alive?
Right.
The next game is one I got very recently. And I mean very, very recently. Pixel Ripped 1995 is a VR game where you play as a boy David and a hero Dot. Dot uses her gamer technology to utilize the motor functions of the boy in order to use him to stop the Cyblin Lord from taking a crystal that allows him to control all video game worlds. Yes, it's very odd getting into it, but if you play it, you'll understand. Dot is in the game, whilst David is outside of the game. And I love seeing Dot's home being invaded by literal demons while David had to go deal with his parents bickering. It's a fun game that uses a double VR gameplay style. If you got a VR headset, give it a go. British? Ori and the Will of the Wisps is an absolutely stunning game. That being said, I didn't play enough of it in order to fairly put it on this list. It's got fun and unique gameplay, but I got stuck, and for the time being, this spot goes to Watch Dogs Legions. In Watch Dogs Legion, you play as DeadSick, a team of everyday people trying to stop a new futuristic city and save the people of London. It's a lot of fun, especially since you can recruit anyone you want. Yes, anyone you see on the streets can be playable. It's such an awesome idea, and I had a lot of fun playing as street artists, protesters, and living statues. Plus, the gameplay is fun, having you explore the city and take on a ton of side missions and storylines whilst hacking and punching your way to freedom. Yes, just as everyone says, Animal Crossing New Horizons came at a perfect time. Being a proud mayor of a town in New Leaf, I was more than stoked. I loved every inch of it, from the charming characters to the art style to building new items and finding new recipes, to choking after seeing that my first islander was one that was in my New Leaf town. It's just simple, adorable Animal Crossing. What more could you want?
Chocolate rain.
Roguelikes are a very controversial genre of gaming. On one hand, people adore them. On the other, people despise them. But I absolutely adore roguelikes. You may not, but I do. Risk of Rain 2 is one that I recently picked up. I might just adore it. And in Risk of Rain 2, you play as a bunch of unique characters stranded on an alien planet. You go around fighting aliens, gaining loot, and fighting the boss that protects the portal in order to get you to the next stage. I could go on about a certain character that I absolutely adore, but if I did, I probably would be here for a few hours explaining why I love Loader. Your gameplay is a lot of fun. Each character has their own set of skills, and even unlockable ones by doing certain achievements and quests. It's a lot of fun, especially with the multiplayer. It's possibly the best part about the whole game. So, I love multiplayer games, but I think I found a new favorite. Dark Deception Monsters Immortals is a spin-off to the Pac-Man maze-esque horror game Dark Deception. I was a fan ever since the prototype for the old Dark Deception came out 4 or so years ago, I'm not sure right now. And I've been more than happy for the fine folks over at Glowstick Entertainment to finally hit it big with both Dark Deception and Monsters Immortals. In Dark Deception Monsters Immortals, you play as either the mortals or the monsters. The usual goal for the mortals is to either escape by collecting these little soul shards that are purple and scattered across various maps, smack each other to death with tablets depending on who you play as, or just kick people to death, or humiliate monsters with flashlights stunning them. Whilst the monsters' goal is to either kill all the mortals, prevent them from escaping, and kill each other in a mode where you collect shards and fight each other. All in all, it's a lot of fun.
If you don't like us, turn it on.
Please don't turn it on. Please don't.
I may have just said how much I love Dark Deception Monsters Immortals, but there is one horror game this year that I found scarier than it. Phasmaphobia has you and either a bunch of randoms or a bunch of friends team up to prove the existence of ghouls and specters. You use various gadgets and gizmos, but the best thing about Phasmaphobia is the voice chat. It not only has good voice recognition, giving the ghost the ability to reply to any questions you ask it on a spirit box, but it makes it a whole lot scarier when you're on radio communications with a member who's in the van when the radio begins to play static. There's only one thing you can do: run. It's both a fun time and a terrifying time.
Hades? Who's Hades?
So I may have already talked about one of my favorite roguelikes this year, but I never talked about my favorite roguelike for this year. I still love you, The Binding of Isaac. My favorite roguelike was easily Hades. You play as the son of Hades, Zagreus, as you attempt to fight your way through the underworld and make it to the surface. With help from the gods, a boatman, and various other characters, you might just make it to the surface. By the way, I refuse to say more because it would literally spoil so much of the game. But the gameplay, it's top-down, it's fun, you get to dash around, you know. And the art style is just really pretty, like genuinely. Just like Ori and the Will of the Wisp, except not as pretty. Next! I'm no stranger to weird, goofy, and silly video games, but Yakuza Like a Dragon is easily one of the best. It tells the sad story of Ichiban Kasuga as he goes through his constant losses and outrageous victories. Throughout the story, Ichiban shows how fun of a guy he really is. He loves cheering people up, stopping any thugs, and risking his life with unmatchable courage. Now, how does it play? It plays incredibly well. The combination of a fast-paced, turn-based RPG fighting style is new for the Yakuza series, and they nailed it. Genuinely, it's so good. I swear, Yakuza really deserved to win an award at the Game Awards. Now, here we are. It's time for my favorite game of 2020.
Great. You owe me a TV, Tatiana.
I don't even know why you put your TV in my office in the first place.
No Straight Roads, to put it simply, taught me a lesson. Games can be buggy, have glitches, and have bad review scores, but does that make a game any less fun? Sure, it can be annoying, but it never halted me from the experience. Just like with No Straight Roads. He plays an indie rock duo who attempt to defeat NSR, the electro dance music corporation that powers their city, Vinyl City, through music. Also, I don't think I should really explain why the music is able to power the city. You really just need to listen to the music. Like, seriously, listen. Yeah, its soundtrack slaps. It's an action-adventure rhythm game, and all of the bosses are supremely good. They are, without a doubt, some of the best bosses I've ever fought in a video game. Period. At first, I thought I'd never play the game. Not because of the price or rarity, but because the reviews weren't very good. Oh, such a fool I was. If it wasn't for my sister showing me one of the boss themes, I never would have played this game. Another thing to note is how pretty the game actually is, except on Nintendo Switch. It looks absolutely horrendous, but that's besides the point. It is real pretty. Before the video ends, I would like to mention, every piece of gameplay here is not mine. Also, while the video is ending, allow me to talk about some games I wanted to put on the list, but couldn't because I didn't play them for long enough. Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. That's it.